Kawasaki has made some of the greatest motorcycles that we've ever seen. I'm talking the indestructible KLR 650, the Ninja 900, the Kawasaki H2R, and then they gave us this. The Kawasaki Ninja, the first ever fully electric motorcycle from a Japanese company. Before Honda made anything, Yamaha made anything, this is before Suzuki made anything. This is the first one. This is the one that Kawasaki is staking their claim of, we make awesome motorcycles, we also make awesome. I can't do it. I can't even fake hype up this bike is so awful. This bike is such a train wreck of a motorcycle. It's embarrassing for Kawasaki. It's embarrassing for Japan. Japan himself should be like, oh, I don't know how Japanese people sound, but Japan themselves should be embarrassed that they put out this horrible motorcycle, and I cannot wait to tell you guys about the train wreck that is the Kawasaki EV Ninja. I'm blown away that they're actually using the name Ninja. You think I'm over-exaggerating? It might be worse than we think. And even though this bike might kind of suck, we're gonna get into it. Maybe it's not as bad as we think, but it probably sucks. You know what doesn't suck? The sponsor of this video, our boys over at Partzilla. So we're gonna find out why no one is buying this motorcycle and why the manufacturer has dropped the price over 60%. Try to sell it, still no one wants it. And we're gonna find out whether this thing does what they claim it to do, which I doubt it. They could at least make some good claims, like this can do awesome things. The claims are pretty miserable. So we're gonna find out. All right, so this thing just showed up a couple days ago, and what it's got going for it, I gotta be positive about something. What it's got going for it is Kawasaki knows how to make a cool bike. I feel like they took a lot of, it's definitely a cool looking bike. If you rolled up this thing and it looked like this, I mean, people would say that that's a cool looking motorcycle. Come over here, check it out. You got the cheap looking forks. They cheaped out on everything. Turn the key over here. That's kind of cool looking. It tells you it's got different modes. The first thing I was trying to figure out when I got this, and this was this morning, was I was like, how do you charge it up? You know, I'm looking everywhere. I don't see any place to charge it. Obviously the tank is fake. You pop that in here. All right, here we go. Here's a big old charger. But then I'm trying to look, all right, where does this thing even plug into? And that's when I realized the first big annoyance that I have with this motorcycle. This is the plug. I don't know where it goes. This is the plug, but this is not a level 1 charger. And Kawasaki decided to make their own thing, which means the only way you can charge this is if you walk into a store and plug it into a wall and then wait 5 hours for however long it takes to charge. We'll figure that out later. They're kind of missing the whole EV boat, where you can't take this anywhere. This is just to go from home and then back to home. Now it does have a little spot in here that it'll store, which I guess that's kind of cool. All right, so it's got these 2 batteries. It's got these 2 batteries, and it's about the size of like a really thick laptop. You charge the battery by plugging it in, and these are 50.4 volt, 30 amp hours. Not really exciting. We'll look at the range in a second, and you might be surprised about it. And what blows my mind the most is who they were trying to market with this bike. I can tell you who, or I can just show you who. Let's come over to my computer. All right, so we go to Kawasaki's website. You go to Ninja E1. It's saying the MSRP is $78.99, and it dropped it. I think it dropped about $1,000 because right now you can look on Cycle Trader, and people are listing this thing for less than $4,000 because they can't sell them. It's 2026 right now, and it's still saying the 2024 Ninja. I don't know how many they made, but they sold so few of them, they're still selling the 2024s, and they're still showcasing it on their website. But they have to say 2024 just so people know this is not a new one. But you come down here to their little promotional video, and this is pretty telling. It's for guys that are watering their plants with a spray thing. It's for guys that walk with a purse. Not only is it bad enough that you have a purse, but you're carrying vegetables in your purse. This is what that bike is for. This bike comes in 2 models. This bike comes in the Kawasaki Ninja EV1 and then the Kawasaki Z1. So it's just kind of less fairings and even less sportier than the least sporty Kawasaki Ninja that Kawasaki ever made. There's a charging dock that you can just plug it in. We used to have one. It looks like the little charging dock you put your little GoPro battery in. So they make that. They don't give it to you. They don't give it to you with your bike. That's an additional feature you gotta buy. Once again, look at what they're eating. Mushrooms, hummus, vegetables. This bike's for vegans. This bike's not even for people who eat meat. So maybe that's why the whole motorcycle community hates it. Kawasaki, when you decide we're gonna make motorcycles for yoga moms that live in the city, this is what you get. You get no sales. What do you expect? Never use a motor vehicle at night or when visibility is limited? What? I would feel better about this if they didn't put the name Ninja on that bike and they just put like lame or like vegetable. The Kawasaki vegetable. They just ruined the Ninja. If you have to do a lineup of all the baddest Kawasaki Ninjas, you know, the 900 and the turbo and the H2 and H2R, it has to be in there. A couple interesting things. I bought this bike, I thought it was a new bike, but then I found out it was a used bike. You know when you go on like Marketplace and it says, you know, it's got 300 miles on it, but they have to put they have to put that on there because they can't put new bikes on there. Well, this said 225 miles, and it's actually 225 miles. So someone actually owned this bike, traded it in, and somehow got to a dealership. What's interesting is these bolts were floating around here in this compartment, and they're to mount this tank thing up here. So I don't know why they were just floating around. I don't know, does that concern me or not? It doesn't, but it probably should. So I'm gonna tie those things back in here. Now, when it comes to these batteries, I did a little bit of research. These batteries are made from okay, hold on a second. Let's see. So the way a lot of these EV bikes are, they have a 12-volt system and then they have the big high voltage system. So there's two battery things for the left and right battery. That's kind of interesting. Actually, will it run on just one battery? Okay, kind of cool. It runs on, you could have one battery charging. So the company that they got to make these batteries is actually a bus company. So it's an electric bus company, I guess out of Japan. So, and apparently they can do like 100,000 cycles. So it's possible these are pretty awesome batteries. They're just not very powerful. They feel nice. Now the other thing about this, now this goes in here and that just feels cheap. This is the cheapest feeling charger. Oh, also you come over here, you can press the button and it tells you what percentage it is. And both of these have been off. They've been off 1% the entire time I've had it. This one says 94, this one says 95. I guess it doesn't make any difference. Let me put this, lock that back in there. I would want this to fit a little bit more snug and not all clanking around, but I guess Kawasaki's got different plans. There's two ways. So first I was like, okay, you got a charger from there. I watched a video of a guy. He said that there's supposed to be a charger back here. His bike didn't have a charger back there. So they got that charging dock. His bike didn't have a charger back there. Let's see if ours has one. I don't know why it's so hard. This reminds me of this. Now, if you guys don't know about this bike, they came up with two bikes in 2024. They came up with the full electric one, which is that. And then they came up with this bike, and this bike is actually awesome. And you know what else is awesome? All the aftermarket parts that I could get for this bike from our boys over at Partzilla, who happens to be the sponsor of today's episode. So if you're like me, you are constantly upgrading, personalizing, and mostly what I do is just breaking every piece of power sports equipment that I own. Also, I have a wife and she's always breaking my truck. At this exact moment, I have at least 7 motorcycles that are not working. I got a side-by-side that's not running that also needs parts. And my wife's Suburban has a goofy blend door that I gotta replace. The good news is I don't gotta go traveling around and go on a bunch of different websites to find the parts. I can go to Partzilla and they are a one-stop shop for all things motorsports, including motorcycles, side-by-sides, dirt bikes, ATVs, and cars and trucks. They not only have all your nice OEM parts, but they also have a massive catalog of aftermarket stuff. They have everything I could possibly need to upgrade and modify this bike. And here's why I like ordering from them, because they make it easy. They've got a 90-day free return with 0 restocking fee. Sometimes I find it's the wrong part, it's not what I want, I can send it back, no problems. Plus, they have a price match guarantee, so you are always getting the best deal. If you're a fan of what we do here over at Bikes and Beers, go check out our friends at Partzilla for all your OEM and aftermarket parts. You can scan the QR code right here or in the link in the description to grab everything you need from Partzilla.com. Now, in case you forgot, let me finish explaining what this bike actually is. This is a full hybrid bike. So like all the supercars nowadays, it's hybrid. So it's like a Prius in a way where it's not a plug-in hybrid. The more you ride it, the more the battery charges up. It's got an engine of the Ninja 400. And then this bike, the claim is this thing can accelerate from 0 to 30 as fast as a liter bike. We actually tested that out and it was incredibly fast. It was awesome. I think this bike is super cool, but what that back tail piece reminds me of is this little secret compartment back here. Now this just has a toolkit, nothing really exciting back here. So this bike is awesome. But apparently some of these didn't have any charger port back here. This one does. So this is how you would charge both batteries. You plug that stupid thing in there, plug it into the wall. Now this bike can't be all that bad. I mean, at least it's a motorcycle, so it's small, it's light. It should be pretty fast in 0 to 60. You're not going to believe what the 0 to 60 is. They're saying 7 seconds, which would be the slowest Ninja ever made in the history of man Ninja. An actual Japanese Ninja could run faster than a 7-second 0 to 60. It is horribly slow. To give you some context, not even that fast of a bike is going to do 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, but then the fastest bikes are doing it in 2.5 seconds. That's a fast bike. What they're claiming is awfully slow, but let's go see. No, wait a second. Were you looking? You didn't know that I happen to be a author. Well, a pre-author, because we are currently doing pre-sales. This is the new book. Okay. Let me, Inside Baseball, it's actually not the new book. They sent this to me, but it's actually some other book about beaches and stuff. My book is about motorcycles. This is what the cover is gonna look like if you get this book. So I decided to take the top coolest 100 motorcycles that I've seen during all my motorcycle research and career, and I'm like, let's put them all in one amazing book. Let's tell stories about each one of them. Well, that's exactly what we did. I'm proud of it. We're doing pre-orders right now. So if there's ever been a motorcycle book to hit the bestsellers list, I'm trying to see if we can beat it. We're also gonna be giving away some motorcycles during this process. So click on the link below or the QR code, or go to booksandbeards.com. You're gonna love it. But let's go see how fast this Ninja actually is. I don't believe what the 0 to 60 is. Let's go throw on a helmet and some gloves. Let's go find out. Also, how do I start this stupid thing? Turn the key. No, nothing. Hold the brake. All right, I'm in. The coolest. This thing does the coolest burnouts. All right, let's go do 0 to 60. This thing might have a range of less than 10 miles. Now, the other interesting thing about this bike is what the dealerships were doing with it. So the MSRP was $78.99, but then they did a Kawasaki rebate, minus $500. Then they did a dealership discount because they weren't selling them, minus $2,500. Now you're like, oh, this is looking pretty good. So then sale price was $48.99. Then they added $450 for destination and shipping prep, which I think is a bogus charge. Then they added an additional added markup of $2,949. So then you wrap up with a total of $82.95. And dealerships were trying to sell this, and I don't think anyone bought it. And I feel bad for anyone who actually paid that kind of money. And then the dealership started dropping the price more and more until you can see them as cheap as less than $4,000. Now they're gonna hook you in there, and they're gonna add all these dumb fees, and by the time you're done, they're back to $8,000 because they're trying to make their money. Oh, well, that's interesting. Look at the batteries. It just changed. The batteries are still completely full, but now instead of 8 miles, now I'm back to 16 miles just from sitting here. But look, the batteries are full. This thing doesn't know what's going on. Whenever you're not accelerating and you're just coasting, it's supposed to be regenerating. It's supposed to be adding power back to the battery to give you a longer length. And let's see if this thing is actually gonna tell us when that range says 0, how far it actually goes. There's no possible way. This is broken. You guys saw the batteries are at like 95%. Look what the range is saying. 25 miles. How is that possible? At full charge, how does this have a 25? Nothing is 25 miles away. That has to be wrong. That must be from the way the last person drove it.
Are we sure it's got full charge?
Yeah, 100%. Look, both batteries are completely full on this screen, and then when you press the button, okay, as of right now we have 0 miles in this thing. Let's look at the range, let's look at the tripometer. Let's go try to do a 0 to 60. How do I use this stupid bike? Okay, we're on. All right, let's go. All right, before we go ride this thing, to the Bible verse. Galatians 6:9. Let's not become discouraged in doing good, for in due time we will reap if we do not weary. All right, let's put it on eco. There's 2 modes. There's eco mode and there's road mode. So clearly I want the fastest one. Let's put it on road mode. All right, let's try it. Try it right here.
3, 2, 1, go.
20, 30, 40. 50. Well, stop time. I never made it. What was the time?
20 seconds for 50 miles an hour.
20 seconds?
Yeah, look, let me show you the time. When I called stop time, 24. We're like 55 miles an hour, 24 seconds.
How was that possible? Oh, actually, you know what? Let's go hit 60. Let's see what the actual 60 is. Let's go. $40. 50. 54. 54. 54. 53. 52. 52. 53. It likes to do at 52. Now it's down to 51. All right, pull it over. In road mode, it will only do 53 mile. I think I saw 54 once. And we were on flat. We were on as flat as it could be.
It was 30 seconds to get 53 miles an hour.
30 seconds? That's amazing. Now there is something that might help. E-Boost. So E-Boost is this thing where you can press a button and it gives you an extra power, which would be cool if the bike was fast and then made it faster. The problem is it only gives you that extra power for a little while, and the problem is the bike is extremely slow and it just makes you slow. So you go from extremely slow to slow, and it's like, why can't I just have this power all the time? So but let's try it out. Let's see if it gets to 0 to 60 faster. We'll wait for a good break in the traffic, and we'll see if that makes it any better. Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Ooh, it's a lot faster. 40. 50. 60. How fast was that? What? The internet says that the booklet says this thing does 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. That's amazing. All right, now hold on a second. We have to compare this with the other slowest vehicle at the shop. Let's go back and I'll take the Sprinter van, you guys stay in there. I'll take the Sprinter van with the trailer and see if it does it faster. Let's see what the 0 to 60 time for the Kawasaki Ninja E1 is, what they claim. 7 to 8 seconds to reach 0 to 60.
You sit on a throne of lies.
Using the temporary I used e-boost the entire time. It was half of that. How is that possible? Were they just that completely wrong? All right, let's see if the van can beat it. All right, so this is test with the trailer attached. Sprinter van weighs 6,500 pounds. Trailer weighs 2,200 pounds. It is a giant wind sail. That's the negative for this trailer.
3, 2, 1, go.
$30, $40, $50, $60.
22:33.
So it's faster than the first one, slower than the second one. End up pulling a trailer, 4 guys in it. It's not bad. I'm more impressed with. I could say this is faster than a Ninja if I ever sell it. Sprinter van, faster than a Ninja. What's mind blowing is that they're telling us it does 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. It's not even close. Like, I get it if it was like 7.5 or 8 seconds. It's like, okay, margin of error or the rider. But on an e-bike, you just twist and go. I can twist as fast as anyone else can, and I was on e-boost the whole time. So I have no clue what they're talking about. Let's go verify some of their other claims on that bike. So the big question on everyone's mind is, how many miles can this thing do on a charge? What's the actual range? Now, this bike is somewhere around 85 to 90% of charge right now, and it claims that it can do 41 miles on a charge, which is awful. Like the worst possible number. It blows my mind that they would even make a bike that's less than 100 miles per charge. That's crazy. But also at 90%, it's only showing that it's got a range of 16 miles. Like, what? Now, normally when motorcycle companies will say that what the range claim is, it's normally shorter than what it actually is. So maybe that's the case. But it's possible that it's showing 16 miles of range because the last couple miles of range have been me just doing 0 to 60 testing on it. And it might be calculating like, oh, okay, if you're gonna be riding it like this is what the range is. But then once I start riding it more conservatively, lighter on the throttle, then it'll adjust. Let's find out. All right, so let's go see what's up with this battery. Is it at 16-mile range? Is it 4 more miles, or is it fully charged? Which is what the gauge is telling us. All right, let's roll. Let's roll. So for me to go as fast as this bike, like to actually go like normal motorcycle speeds, I have to use the e-boost. It does not have the power to get up to 60 miles an hour without using this like special, limited amount of boost that it has, that it gives you access to when you press the button. It's kind of ridiculous. Like right now, I'm not using it. I can only go 54 miles an hour, 55 miles an hour and dropping. But then it builds up e-boost momentum. I don't know how or why it's doing it, but then it gives me a little more. So now let's see if I can get to something close to the speed limit. I don't know if they said it in the brochure or not. We'll go look, but this is not made for highway use. Although, it does feel smooth. Feels smooth on the highway. And after riding the bike for a little bit, we finally got it down to 0 miles. It's barely moving. We'll see if it makes it back to the shop. I think it's mostly just momentum from the hill. It's moving, but it won't even show miles per hour. It's still moving. It's still going. Now there is no possible way, unless we did something wrong, and maybe we'll try it again, and we will try it again, but now keep in mind the last 3 miles were completely de-restricted, unrideable on the street, dangerous on the street. According to this thing does 20 miles to the range. It's at 97 or 98% down to 0, 20 miles. Let's see how long it takes this thing to charge, and then come back tomorrow and do some more testing. It says it takes 8 hours to charge this thing for you to ride for 20 miles. Also, if you're gonna replace one of those battery packs, $5,000. That's more than you hopefully paid for the entire motorcycle. But they've been completely wrong about every other statistic they've told us about this. Let's see if they're right about this. So before we go and check on the bike and see what the how long it took to charge, my producer Gabe gave me a call, and he's like, he's selling a bike, Gabe's selling a bike, and the guy wants to trade him another motorcycle. But then when he told me what the motorcycle was, I was like, hey man, we got to get the cameras out because I got to see this. Let's see if this trade goes down. I've never seen one like this before. Let's see if they can do a deal. And if it's all that they're saying it is, maybe I'll buy it off of Gabe.
A man that used to work at the Harley Davidson here in town.
Oh, no kidding.
He built it, bought it about 6 years ago. He worked at Columbia Harley Davidson for 20 years, and he built this from, this is a 03 anniversary. It used to be just a ladies 883 white motorcycle, and he built it into this. It's got about 110 horsepower to it.
110 horsepower.
Yeah, you get.
Have you ever had it on a dyno?
I have not.
I think we need to get it on a dyno.
Yeah.
That's the most amount of horsepower I've ever seen on a Sportster, other than the like the Sportster has.
Well, I mean, this one's 1212 cammed out.
I've had it 75 in second.
You sure about that?
So I don't know what it will do because it'll just sit there and bounce off of 120.
We got how many miles?
46, I think.
4,600. It's like the one that I used to race when I did flat track. Super cool bikes. You want to ride it? You want to ride it too? Yeah.
It starts up really well.
Yeah.
We're going to LED lights on underneath of it. Never did.
I mean, it started up really good. A lot of times, built bikes are all goofy and they have a hard time starting. It started up and it's idling right away. I need my boots on for this one. How much stuff have you had to do to that bike to keep it running? It's been pretty reliable.
I've never had any problems with it running.
I'm blown away how easy it started.
And I mean, it was cold like you seen.
Yes.
Yeah. 29. We're having.
Chain. If it was looking on the chain, no, it's just not grabbing like it's doing. The power transfer is not. The power transfer is not there. It might be slipping on the chain. Look at those sprockets. Yeah, it's not grabbing at all.
Go ride it. Go ride it and tell me what you. It's not grabbing. It was just.
You think it's slipping on the chain? Because look at those sprockets. That sprocket is toast.
It's loose and it's not grabbing because when I throttle it.
Like those things are.
Sprocket, his teeth are winded or wearing down.
Yeah.
That's because too much of this.
But if it was slipping on the sprocket, man, I think you would hear that.
You go ride it real quick. Tell me what you
take it
think.
for a spin.
You can feel the motor's got the power, but the power's not transferring. When I was throttling it, in first gear, chain drive bike like that with that kind of juice, you pull the front wheel up. No problem.
Probably slipping that tire. I have to put a tire on it every summer.
It moves, but it's not doing what I expect it to do. I'm telling you, just from racing those bikes and building them, when that bike is, it's right. When you pop that throttle,
It should go.
the front wheel in first gear, that's a automatic pop. It should come right off the ground like nothing. And that could be the chain. The chain has something to do with it. You want to mess with that one?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty much what you see. It's a brand new bike. I picked it up from a dude down in Georgia. Dude never rode it. I mean, it's got, I don't even, 1,100 miles, under 1,000 miles.
Yeah, just over 1,083, I think.
That's it.
I didn't feel any slip.
You didn't feel it?
See,
No.
I never felt it neither.
I don't think it's 100 horse. The chain and the sprocket, they gotta be replaced no matter what.
Yeah.
Bet you it's, if I had to guess,
80s.
It's a good. It's in the 80s,
Yeah.
which is very impressive for any sports.
Yeah.
Thing.
I think got a push rod area over here.
You know how you know it's an anniversary bike? Come over here. It's got the print on the engine.
Oh yeah.
2003.
Yeah.
100th anniversary.
I'm gonna go run.
What do you think, Abe? What are you gonna do?
I mean, if I wanted to ride right off of the street onto the track, you know, for when they have the street class, I could go, you know, goof off and racing them. I mean, for a putt around town bike, and even off-road. I mean, these things are great once they're done right.
What are you gonna do?
What am I gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I haven't decided yet.
I don't know.
He gone.
I was just thinking the same thing.
He gone.
He ain't going nowhere. He ain't leaving this truck nowhere.
I didn't hear a crash, so. Well, let's see when he comes back. See if he wants to do
If
the
he
deal.
comes back,
Hold up, wait a minute.
he's starting to scare me.
Yeah, what the heck did he do? Did he get pulled over because he don't have a plate?
Maybe.
That could be.
He would have already called me.
So it's been about 20 minutes. He's still not back on the test drive.
Yeah, I wonder if he got pulled over, man.
At what point do we go look for him?
I don't know.
I mean,
At this point?
Uh-oh. This is him. Hello.
Hey man, I'm lost.
We'll come to you.
Just ride it down the grass.
yep.
Well, you want to do the deal?
Swing him, man.
You want to do the deal?
I'm down.
All right, we got a deal.
Sweet.
We got a deal. All right, so Gabe did the deal. Maybe we'll get this thing on a dyno and actually see if it's making 110. I doubt it. A lot of guys like the, and it wasn't him. It was the guy who he bought it from. He was claiming 110, but I'm pretty sure it's not 110 horsepower. If I had to guess, 80 horsepower tops. But let's go inside and let's see how long it took us to charge this Ninja. All right, so I came in this morning to see if it was charged. The green light is on, 100%, 100%. All right, so we are at 100% charge. The question is, how long did it take? Well, I gave the camera to the camera guy, and I was like, hey, how long did it take with a camera and then a backup battery on it? The backup battery died at 7.5 hours. I came in here at 13 hours. So we have no idea. I don't know if anyone has any actual idea. It's somewhere between 7.5 hours and 13 hours it takes for this thing to get fully charged, which is insane. Considering how the range it has, you should be able to plug this in and it should charge up in 45 minutes. That's crazy. Someone could say, well, that's not the ideal way of riding it. You were pushing it too hard. I wasn't. But they say you were pushing it too hard, and that's what killed the range. That's why the range was only 22 miles or whatever it was. Whatever crazy thing it was. So let's drive it this as eco mode, as tame as we possibly can, and let's see how many miles it actually does. They somehow made this into a boring commuter bike just for commuting.
But yeah, but you can't even commute very far.
No.
You have to work like 4 blocks away to commute with this thing. These all connected. Working.
All right, so I'm in eco mode and I'm gonna do no e-boost. All back roads. As slow as humanly possible. Ooh, look, hold up, here we go. This is saying my range is 47 miles. Normally when you buy a motorcycle, especially an electric one, it's smart to be cautious because you don't know how fast or twitchy it's gonna be. Well, not with this one. I'm having a hard time explaining to you guys how slow this thing actually is. But I think it's safe to say that if you're on the road riding this, with the exception of like a broken down Model T, you are the slowest thing out there. You are the weakest link, like no questions about it. Which is strange because one of the whole benefits of a motorcycle is being quick and nimble. Not this one. This is the wet blanket of two wheels. And that's partly because it's not a real motorcycle. They lied to you. Kawasaki totally lied to you. It's a sheep in wolf's clothing. It's a battery-powered vacuum cleaner cosplaying as a Kawasaki Ninja. Now on the positive side, if you're ever worried about people being intimidated by you because you ride a motorcycle, well, no such concerns here. A lot of times, I'll say a bike isn't made for kids or beginners. This is more of an advanced level bike. I wouldn't let my 6-year-old ride this one, not because it's unsafe, just because it'd be too lame. I would feel bad that he rode it and someone might see him on it. This belongs in the category of a toy category more than motorcycle for an adult. But let's find out once and for all what the range actually is in real world conditions. You can't consider this being rideable. Brings me down to 13 miles an hour. I'm calling it. All right, so I mean, it's not riding anymore. I mean, it might be able to do another 1.5 miles, maybe 2 miles at like 7 miles an hour, but that's not riding. That doesn't count. It's like if I bought my truck and it said it could do 300 miles to the tank, and in the last 100 miles, it can only do 20 miles an hour. That doesn't count. And the last 2 miles that I just got, or last 3 miles I just got doing, that don't count. I couldn't keep up with traffic. I could barely move. I was a danger, I was a hazard on the road. This is, at best, this thing can do 31 miles to the charge, which is awful. Kawasaki, you may have ruined the name Ninja. You let me down.